Okay, hello, my name is Grainne Conole and I wanted to give you a brief introduction to Cloudworks. Cloudworks is a social networking site for learning and teaching, for sharing of ideas, for discussion and for finding out great resources. There are three key concepts to do with Cloudworks. The first is the notion of clouds. The second is the idea of cloudscapes. And the third is the idea of having activity streams. Essentially, a cloud, such as this one, can be anything to do with learning and teaching. So it can be, here's a great idea of something that I did with my students last week. I had them working in groups in different ways in a wiki. Or it might be some information about some tools and resources to do with learning and teaching, such as, for example, some of the open educational resource repositories or great tools like Twitter. Or it could be a question or a problem. I've got 200 first-year nurse practitioners starting next week. I want to know how I can use social networking with them. And clouds are social. So other people can come along and say, that's a really interesting idea in terms of what you did. I did something similar with my students. Or somebody could come along and say, could you tell me a little bit more about what worked and didn't? You can add intelligence to a cloud by adding links. So you can have links coming in to extra resources, links to suggested academic papers that people might want to read, or further information. So over some time, the clouds become more social and more intelligent in terms of the added social dimensions and the conversations. The second key concept is the idea of cloudscapes. These are communities. So groups of clouds can be linked together to form a community or a cloudscape. So for example, these could be all the clouds related to a conference or all the clouds associated with a workshop or a student cohort. And you can build other communities, so you can have clouds on their own, you can start to build them, and then you can start to have different communities, and clouds can belong to any number of communities. So individual people can choose to follow particular cloudscapes. And what that means is that in their activity stream, they see any activities that are occurring in that cloudscape. But they can also follow other people in the system over time. And likewise, any of the people they're following, the activities that those people are doing in the system also occurs in the cloud stream.
I've started using it for live blogging quite a lot of things, so it's kind of like live blogging plus. So for instance, OULDI I live blogged Martin Bean's talk. I was at the Science 2.0 workshop last week and I live blogged that. So the content I create is the live blog stream, and then it allows me to add around that a number of additional bits of content. So I'll link in any papers or any presentations people have given, and then perhaps add content, add comments and things around the site. So
you can see what's going on, you can track the progress of things over time, you can contribute and join in some really exciting discussions, and I like the way that it sits as part of an ecosystem of collaboration in the community. There's Twitter, there's email, there's all sorts of other things going on in other people's own blogs, and Cloudworks seems to be becoming a gathering place for a lot of those things.
Social, academic and development.
Openness, teaching and learning, how's that?
That's the end for today. Thank you for listening.